Koto, and welcome to another episode of South Pacific Muscle. And Mike and I are sitting up the top here looking incredibly fucking old tonight, Mike, aren't we?
Older than usual.
We are. What we wanted to do today is bring on some young guns, and bring on some of our, I guess, what we see as the next generation of bodybuilders, and talk a little bit about, how life is and what the influences are of where we were 20-something years ago, Mike.
What are they now? Generation Z? Generation... I don't know.
IGN. Right, so without further ado, I'd like to welcome Sidney Dos Santos from Napier. Welcome, Sidney.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here, repping the Anytime Fitness, I see.
Yes, home gym.
Cool. You Anytime over in Napier or Taradale?
I actually work at Taradale on the weekends, but I do train in Napier as well.
Cool. So Sidney has competed in bodybuilding and bikini, and she will tell us a little bit about that in a minute. But before that, Emile Karauria-George, welcome on board, brother.
Hey, bro.
Good to see you. I only saw you, seemed like about half an hour ago I saw you in the gym.
Yeah, got to put that mahi in.
Yeah, you're looking pretty fresh, bro. I kind of walked out of the gym feeling half dead, and I saw you've done a bit of cardio and stuff as well. So, looking like you've freshened up since then, bro.
Thank you.
Right.
Sounding pretty fresh considering you got a show this weekend.
No.
I thought you do. You guys do. I thought you were doing the ICN show this weekend.
Oh no, so I'm doing a NABA show in July.
Oh, okay.
Here in Hawke's Bay.
So
I say way too fresh for a week out from comp.
Yeah. But someone's a week out from comp, aren't they, Sidney?
Yes, we are.
Yes. So we'll start with you because you might fade out before the rest of us. Do you want to give us a quick rundown about how you grew up, early sports, and how did you end up in bikini? How did that happen?
Yeah, we'll do a bit of a throwback. So I always grew up riding horses, so that was where the legs and the glutes have come from. So I rode till I was about 17 competitively. So I've always loved competitions. I like to win. I have that competitive mindset. So that was drilled in me from about 4 years old. And then I was playing football for a while as well. That was probably where I started my fitness journey into the gym, muscle training, realizing that football was much easier the stronger I was.
What age were you then, Sidney?
Through high school. Played a bit of striker, so just a lot of fitness in the gym. It was just that cardio, and then like a few legs. Always liked that look, it was all about the glutes and tight gym pants and that kind of thing. I've just aspired. Had big glutes from horse riding, really.
We've heard that before, haven't we, Mike? We had who was it that? We had someone else that was a competitive equestrian athlete that had a great set of glutes and hams and attributed it to riding horses.
Maybe Sheena Jane Fitness.
Yeah, could well have been Sheena.
She's I don't know her personally, but like the journey itself, I followed her, and she's definitely had the glutes from a young age too. Yeah. And then, so it was 2015, I decided that I wanted to do my first fitness competition. It wasn't really big at all, especially in Hawke's Bay. There were a few smaller athletes, and I didn't know where to start. I just knew I had good legs, and that was about it. So I decided to do just like a sports model competition. Found a random coach. Shout out to back in the day, but I just had that broccoli rice chicken every meal. It was terrible, absolutely depleted on stage. My tan was shocking. I think I probably cried for like a week after. I was like, never again, never, ever, ever. It was just the worst. It was worth. Oh, I can't even.
And it didn't put you off? Obviously not.
Well, it did for about a year.
Yep.
For about a year. And then It was 2017. One of my really, really good friends, he passed away in a car accident, and I just didn't know how to deal with grief, and I hadn't had any experience with that kind of mental health before.
Yeah.
And so I knew being in the gym made me feel, better, than the endorphins, just, and everyone else went off drinking and dealing with it like that. And I just went into the gym. And so I actually started in NABBA shape.
Oh, wow.
Originally, yeah. So I didn't have the shoulders, I didn't have any of that. It was just straight, I'm doing this because I need a goal and this keeps me in check. So Tracy Coyle was actually helped me through posing, and so she's quite big in the Hawke's Bay. She's done well. She's competed overseas, and so she helped me through that, which she was amazing. And yeah, I did 2 shows in NABBA actually that season.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I do remember Tracy from way back in the day. She was teaching yoga and stuff like that now, isn't she?
Yeah, she still does yoga, and yeah, she's amazing mentally as well. So she was a really good person to be around, especially at that point of time. And then because I had jumped into a prep and I did say 6 months and I had 2 competitions, the following year grief actually hit me for real, and there was no way I was doing what I was, I couldn't train, I couldn't study, I was just mentally, 2018 was my mental year. And then 2019, I actually jumped on IMBA stage for the first time. And that was just to do it properly. I actually did all my own nutrition training, the whole lot. Yeah, it was just
no broccoli.
No, I haven't had broccoli ever. I'm scarred for life from broccoli. I just can't do it. So, but yeah, definitely no broccoli. And I won my first IMBA show. So that just set off the passion. Really felt like I can do this. How far can we go? What if I have a proper coach? Just if I can do this by myself and look in condition, how far can I go? And that's when I realized that I just had a bit of a natural physique for it.
Yeah, look, I looked at your Insta, and I was actually talking to someone at the gym tonight, and they knew you, and they were like, that girl with the glutes. I went, yeah, that's the one. But
it's an illusion,
Yeah, but no, you've made pretty incredible progress. When you skim back and look at some of those photos. So you're obviously doing something right. Are you still doing your own stuff, or are you working with a coach at the moment?
No. So last season I was with Phil from Ascend Nutrition. We went over to Aussie in IMBA Pro-Am, and we placed second and novice behind the girl that actually went pro. So that again just built my fire even more. And I don't like being as humble as I can. That was just like, all right, I'm ready for gold. And then obviously COVID. So we kind of prepped on and off. It was just, we had no shows and I didn't really know what to do. But we did go through to 2020 nationals, IMBA, and pulled off a win there. So I wasn't in great conditioning, like I happily admit that, but my posing is what made me win that. Some of those girls were amazing condition, but it just came down to the poise of it all, and I can outpose. So that was a quick win.
Such a huge part, and I've been having that conversation with Emile, and he'll know. I've been saying, how far out are you, bro? And he'll say X amount of weeks. I'm like, how many times are you posing? Oh, and I'm like, and I've been doing it to all the guys that are competing, just drill it into them, because I think, as male bodybuilders, some of our posing leaves a lot to be desired. And when you look at particularly in the bikini classes and even the figure girls, to be fair, they come out and they've done their homework, and I think it's I think it's sloppy of guys not to put in that much work, because, you know, it's detrimental. You put in, I hate to think how many hours of cardio, how many hours of training, how many meals, you know, how much chicken and rice, and I don't eat broccoli either, but, you know, and how many hungry nights you've had, and on the flip side, all the nights when you've just been gorging food and you're just sick of eating, and you do all that and you don't show your body off properly. It doesn't make sense. So, you know.
Yeah, I've got a question in that regard. The posing for bikini, is it physically strenuous? So if you do practice your posing for half an hour, do you come out sort of drenched in sweat like the male bodybuilders will from squeezing and tensing every muscle?
Well, so I've actually got a new coach this prep, and we've only been working together for about 6 weeks. Now he's completely changed everything for me. So I pose in between sets, I vacuum between sets. This is going out to my competitors, but hey, I'll give you a little bit of insight. And it's just constant posing. So I'm not drenched like you guys at all, but it definitely is, a lot comes down to the core, I think.
Yeah, you can't afford to turn side on and let it sort of, you know, especially, you know, Emile, you'll learn that one about in between poses, keeping it in transitions, keeping everything tight, and the bikini girls are sensational at it.
Oh yeah, I'm already struggling with it,
Hey, we'll jump over to you, bro. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your early years and sports and high school and training?
Yeah, no, 100%. So my upbringing was mainly more towards like karate and kickboxing. I was always that, like, because I got brought up with like a lot of kung fu movies, like typical Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee vibes, eh? So like obviously that was my main sport. I also played a bit of squash and softball as well in intermediate and a little bit in high school. I didn't really play competitively though, because I was always just playing for fun with my family. But kickboxing and karate, yeah, definitely one of my passions. But yeah, and for exercise, I started gymming at like around 2015 when I was 17.
Yep.
I had like bugger all experience, and it was like for maybe, I don't know, like a few months, and I kind of gave up on it. And it wasn't until 2019 I was pretty big. I was like 105 kilos, I think I was. Had quite a bit of fat on me. Oh, well, I believed I had quite a bit of fat on me. And around the end of 2019, I dropped down to 84.7 kilos. So I lost a lot of weight. What I was just doing a lot of running around parks. Everything that I learned in kickboxing, like all the cardio and like their kind of training, circuit training, I was just implementing that in my home workouts. And not gonna lie, half the time, with my nutrition, half the time I was like starving myself a wee bit until I found out that I actually need to eat more because it's a good source of fuel. But yeah.
It must be interesting looking back on that, because for those that don't know Emile, he's studying his Bachelor of Exercise Science, is that right?
Yep. So at the moment I'm doing my diploma, but I'm going for the whole bachelor's in sports and exercise science over at the Eastern Institute of Technology, EIT.
So it must be interesting as you're learning stuff, looking back, just going, what was I doing?
Yeah, pretty much. That's so, like, when I started gymming last year in 2020, I was thinking, oh yeah, I'm the man. I got this after everything that I'd done in 2019.
Yeah.
And then after studying like my first year, I was just like, yeah, I was an idiot. I was like, I'm doing everything wrong.
Well, man, look, at least you're in the right place. You're learning stuff that you know that most people won't know, and at the same time, you're in the trenches as well. You're in the gym, and you're working with a coach now as well, aren't you?
Yes, so I start working with my coach Bailey Pugh next week for my 12-week cut for my first bodybuilding comp.
Just to put a bit of a shout out to Bailey, he's looking mean too, eh? He's looking.
He
really
is.
good.
He is. Yeah. I'm like, bro, can't wait to be like you.
It'll be really good working with him because he's got a good knowledge base, but he is also working with a coach. He's working with Andrew Murray. So you'll kind of get the benefit of that, you know, sort of it flows down, man, you know.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep. So you're into training, and how the hell did you get into training and suddenly now you're into a bodybuilding prep? How did that work?
So funny story. So last year I got a classmate who also does bodybuilding. Her name's Priscilla. Priscilla.
Yeah.
What's her last name? Tuala Fata.
Yep.
She's done a couple bodybuilding comps, and so last year in my class, just out of the blue, she just took a look at my physique and she was just like, "You should do a bodybuilding comp." And I was like, "Wait, what do you mean?" And she goes like, "You should do a bodybuilding comp. You look like you got a good figure to do bodybuilding." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then I was thinking about it, and then a couple weeks later, her coach Laura comes up to me and she just takes one look at me. "Yeah, you're doing a competition." I was like, "Oh, all right."
I didn't realize she was coached by Laura. I caught up with Laura in the gym the other day, and I hadn't seen Laura for 15 years, probably. Still exactly the same, as hard as ever on her. She's great.
Yeah,
I love it.
She comes up to me every day at the gym, always nagging me, like making sure that I'm onto it. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm getting there, woman."
She's good, eh? She's good. She's a ex-NABBA. She's competed internationally for NABBA, Mike. I don't know if you came across Laura Caton, and her daughter Mel was also a very good bodybuilder. So
Yeah, I don't know if I did.
yeah. Right, so you're into it. So Hawke's Bay show is, how far away is it, Emile?
About 13 weeks.
So what's the diet looking like at the moment, man?
So it's my final week of my bulking phase.
Yep.
I would say lean bulking. Don't want to go too far from dirty bulking foods and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So at the moment, everything's going pretty good.
Yeah, you're in reasonably good nick. So 12 weeks, you should, it might be a rough 12 weeks for you if you haven't done it before, bro. So lock yourself in and hang on for the ride.
I'm looking forward to it.
Mike, John, I'll hand over to you for a minute, eh?
Yeah. So listen, tell me about the last few weeks, Emile. You've been on this bulking phase, or clean bulk. Where did you dropped all that weight, got down to 84.7. What's your height and how much have you put on, or are you still recomping?
So I'm about 180 centimeters. So that's what, like just under 6 foot. Yeah, 5'11". So ever since I started gymming last year, how much do I weigh now? I weigh like roughly 94, but I was 13% body fat when I started gymming, and at the moment I'm sitting around 11-12%.
Mm-hmm.
So I've gained how much is that? So probably like just under 10 kilos of muscle I put on, and still
nice.
burning body fat at the same time.
Cool. Yeah. So let's flip back over to Sydney, because you'll be getting bored over there. So Sydney, you follow Sheena Jane. Is there any other sort of competitive pros or otherwise that have sort of inspired you, or that you kind of love the look of their physique you'd like to look like, or you model your training around?
Yeah, so obviously Sheena Jane, just similar background. New Zealand, I'm all for New Zealand athletes. So Katia's just, you just follow her journey. She's just absolutely amazing. Rhiannon, I'm actually going to start doing some posing in Auckland with her leading into IFBB. So we'll fine tune with her. And obviously Kurt Dow, just knowledgeable, just follow everything he preaches. But my coach now is Marcus Trainer from Auckland, and he's got a couple girls too that
when you're speaking to him, I've been asked, I've had someone request that we get him on, and it's Marcus. Is it Marcus Lim?
Marcus Trainer,
yeah, Marcus Trainer PT or something. Yeah, I've seen this thing, but have a word to him and tell him to get at us, because I've had often people sort of message and say, "Oh, can you speak to so and so?" And he came up and he said, "Go and have a look at what his athletes," and he's done some pretty cool things. So it'd be cool to get him on for a yarn sometime.
Condition King, I call him. He's just changed the physique within weeks. Just amazing. But yeah, there's obviously all the, like Jess Green. I actually quite aspire to her. She's doing quite well in Aussie now. She started off in IFBB New Zealand. Not sure.
I don't know. Should we go and do an Insta stalk?
Like she's
Let's do an Insta stalk. We can do that. Right.
Yeah. So she was a New Zealand IFBB girl at one point, and she's doing really well over in Aussie.
Right.
Actually was an overall call out for nationals.
It's green, is it?
Yeah.
There we go.
That's her.
Top one?
Yeah.
All right, let's have a look. Doing a stalk, Jess, if you're watching this, we're stalking you.
So she's someone that's just really dedicated herself for the last couple of years from where she started.
Yeah.
And just doing so well in Australia is just, that's a huge.
Hey, while you've got that, look up there, kid, and Sydney, you might be able to back me up on this. The pose from the rear, you have an arch in your back to take the creases away from the base of your glutes, right?
Yeah.
So that looks like she's doing that really, really well. Often, I see this so often as one will bend at the waist and the upper body is actually leaning forward.
Yeah.
So that's not the go, is it? You know, your upper body should be relatively upright. It's just you arch your back to take away those creases. Is that?
Yeah. And get those rear delts out. And then a little bit of that glute ham tie-in is the pressing as well. Pressing the back of your glutes. But
so upper body stays relatively upright. Yeah, upper body stays relatively upright.
Yeah,
so
otherwise
not leaning forward.
Yeah.
Right, while we're here, we might as well go through the Instas. So for those people that want to follow Sydney's journey and, I'm picking there's going to be some successes this year that you want to follow. So _ Sidney Dos Santos. You can see on there, NZ Muscle Ambassador. I had a little bit of a look at that too. That's cool, man. NZ Muscle.
Yeah, that's just within the last couple of weeks. So, we're making moves.
Love it. Good to see, man. Really good to see people starting to crack it and, get some recognition. There we go. You got lots of photos like this. But, conditions definitely. I want to have have you been hiding most of it?
I am.
Yeah.
Especially just being a little bit of an underdog. I just am. Yeah. Until we make the big appearance in probably a month's time, it really is just slightly
reminiscent to the shadow. It's the old Dorian Yates, just come out, show everybody when it's ready.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. No, you've made some really good progress. If you skim down, you can see your glutes, your hams come up a ton. We'll just jump over to Emile just quickly. So those people want to follow Emile, and he's one that I would say that you need to follow. Look, I haven't followed you back, bro. I better do that. I'll do it right now. Because Emile's, as I said, he's at EIT, so he's going to be learning some of the cutting latest stuff that we don't know. So I'll be tapping into that, Emile. But if you want to follow that, Emile.kg, KQ, KG.
I had a look this afternoon. Looks like you've done you love the powerlifting. You love the deads and the bench and the
yeah. So I like all fields of exercise. I kind of want to dial into Olympic lifting as well, but at the moment I'm just sticking to what I know, and that's just powerlifting and bodybuilding type training.
Nice deadlift, bro.
Thank you.
Love it. Good stuff. And going forward, Emile promises, put you on the spot here, bro, to show us some progress photos as he's cutting down, eh? What do you reckon?
Oh, 100%. I'm just leaving that a secret at the moment, trying to play it low key.
What you want to get is one of those before photos when you're 104, bro. Put that up. And play, put today's date on it, man, and just, play with people.
Yeah, because I do have a photo on my Instagram on when I first started my gym journey and then a year after that, and just comparing them there.
Yeah. All right. It's cool to have those, eh? And I think, a lot of people don't like taking photos when they're out of shape and sloppy, but afterwards, I always regret not doing it, Yeah. I got one when I was 115 or so, but at one point I was up over 120 and I was horrifically fat, and I wouldn't even send photos to my coach. It was that bad. But I wish I had now in retrospect, It's just well, it'd be good to line it up next to Nate at 3%, So
yeah.
You made a really good comment. You made a really good comment on one of my photos. I I posted something after nationals last couple of years ago and said, "Oh, I know this looks like an after photo, but this is a before photo for how awesome I'm going to look next year." And you made the comment, "Every photo is a before photo, bro."
Yeah, it is. It is. Always, man. We're always trying to push forward and progress. Yeah. So talking about getting better, let's have a, short-term aim, medium, long-term aim. Over to Sydney. Where are we going?
Okay, so obviously I'm in peak week this week. I'm heading into ICN, so I compete natural their second show for New Zealand. I obviously have done a couple natural federations now, and I really enjoy the vibe, and Brenda is amazing. I've also been posing with Rachel Palmer, so I've got all the support I need there. So
short-term aim is to win the ICN on Saturday.
Yes, we're going for overall fitness on Saturday.
Cool.
Middle-ish, we will be heading into IFBB Auckland Champs in 4 weeks' time.
Oh wow!
We are very. I've been nervous for it. Marcus said about 10 weeks ago, "This is what we're doing," and at 10 weeks ago, I was like, "No way! Like, this guy's out of his mind, even thinking that." But as we're getting closer and making progress, I know that we've still got a lot of fuel in the tank the next month to really push conditioning. And I will be novice, but I'm aiming to really, really nail that. I've been holding off with IFBB because it's always with the girls is tighter in the hands, tighter in the glutes, and I know that. So I've always wanted my first appearance to be as on point as possible, so I don't have Mo going, "You need to go do sprints." So that, so that's then. Hopefully qualify for nationals. That's the goal. Awesome. And really.
I love the attitude, and I know you're kind of holding back, but Emile, one of the things you'll learn is that a lot of people in the sport limit themselves by being too humble, and it's you can be humble, but you need to be confident in your abilities, and you've got to aim high. So to say, look, I'm aiming to win this show doesn't make you arrogant. You actually need to, because I think and a guy that I follow, Fuad, said it really well. He said, everything that I thought that I could achieve, I achieved. Everything that I thought was too hard, I didn't achieve. So, you've really got to believe in yourself. And I can kind of see that shining through with you, Sydney. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. I will be there on Saturday, so I will see you at the show. And I have got every intention of being in Auckland as well. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. And Emile, short-term, medium-term, long-term, where are we heading?
So for my short-term goal, I reckon at the moment, surviving the 12-week cut. And hopefully, I wouldn't say hopefully, I'll just go and smash out this competition, do my best, and more importantly, have fun doing it. Midterm goal, probably maybe step into ICN comp as well. I'm looking forward to do more than just one competition. And long term, I reckon, I haven't thought that far ahead. Maybe when I get my degree, hopefully I've done more bodybuilding comps around then as well.
Cool, man. Yeah, I think if you can get a few shows in initially, it's always good, because then people kind of know you. You get to meet people. You get a lot of extra resources. People share ideas with you.
Good feedback from the judges.
Yeah. So
100%.
So make the most of it. When you are at the first shows, go and talk to. I mean, people backstage are usually really good, and in between lying down with your feet up, which is pretty much what you do most of the time backstage. It's not that exciting, but you do have some good conversations with people, and the officials, and that are all really helpful. So, it's quite a good little community out there.
Hey, can I just jump back in, because it sounds like you're getting ready to give them a shout out, some wrap up, but like these two guys, you're not ready. These two guys have taken quite different approaches to sort of expanding their knowledge and getting the experience they need to set themselves up for the show. Sydney, you've used 2 or 3 different coaches, and obviously you take a little bit from each of them and add it to your knowledge base. And Emile, you've kind of obviously got some help from different people around the place, but now you're going the academic route of kind of learning in that regard. So for sort of newbies sort of getting into it, if they want to make the most progress as quickly as possible, what would your both of your advice be to sort of speed the process as quickly as possible for young athletes?
I'll let Sydney go first. Yeah.
Definitely, I think genetics does play a part. So I think if you find a look that your body is similar to, because there are so many different federations and there's so many different looks, and there's no point being, you're very abby and thick-waisted and wanting to be a certain look, knowing that it's going to take you that much longer to really build. So it's like, I think find a federation that you kind of suit straight away if you want to compete straight away, and then go from there, like for your building phases and stuff. I've found personally natural federations are much easier to start with. Just not that they're any less at all, it's just the fact that you've got a lot of people very similar, we're all starting off. And I like if you've got someone local as well, it is hard, I don't get to see my coach at all. And so when you're starting off, like the guidance of being able to check in person and just have that extra guidance is so much easier. I learned it the hard way and just kind of did it myself, and just, it was not the best. But especially for Hawke's Bay, we've got quite a few good bodybuilding coaches now, like you said, Bailey. Jan Fritz is quite big in the Anytime gym. He's starting off. Andrew Murray, he amazing. Gregor, so for Hawke's Bay, we've got people now, and which when I started off, I didn't know where to start. Whereas social media, you can really figure out where you want to look, or it's so much easier to figure out where you want to go.
Right, Emile, any advice for the newbies?
Yeah, I reckon, like, following with what Sydney said, like, social media is a big one. I reckon, like, just take advantage of your resources, like, do your research, like, going out there, like, seeing how, like, different people train, especially towards, like, people that you want to aim to, like, look like. And even just asking, like, for advice from, like, people who've done comps before, like, at my gym, for example, like, I've always just, like, asked questions to people who have done bodybuilding, just asking them, like, so what kind of training do you do? What's your nutrition? Just, like, also just taking advantage of the resources that you have.
I'm a bit worried, bro. You've never asked me, and I'm in the gym every day with you. I must look horrific.
You're just scary, man. You're just going heavy all the time, man.
No, you're right, man.
I already know that you're a beast.
We got lots of friendly people in the Bay. Actually, we're pretty lucky in that respect. But certainly in the bigger centres, absolutely agree. There's a ton of good PTs out there, and I think we're kind of abundant with talent now in terms of coaches in New Zealand. It's really good, because it raises the bar. When if you've got one rock star coach and no one else, then who's pushing that person to be better? But now, if you ask me for my opinion, and I won't give it because I don't want to promote any one particular person, but at the moment I could probably name 5 or 6 really, really top coaches, and there's probably another 20 that I don't know. So, we've got the resources out there for people that are looking. So if you are,
and if you're looking, look at the athletes they've coached. Look at the ones they've got in condition and that they've presented before, how they presented them, and especially sort of how they presented them over time. So if they've worked with an athlete for a couple of years, how have they changed their physique over time, and how's their condition when they bring them in? Because as much as there are a ton of really good coaches, there's also a ton of back of the week big box qualifications that people say they're a qualified PT and they've really hardly set foot in the gym and never really helped a competitive athlete before. So you do have to do your homework a little bit.
I think horses for courses applies too. You know, if you're going to get someone to train you for bodybuilding, make sure that they're actually got a bodybuilding background. You know, like if you're a marathon runner, you don't get me to coach you. You know, it just ain't going to work. You know, I might know all the theory, but you know, I haven't you know, spent the time on the pavement to teach you how to run. Likewise in bodybuilding, you know, and luckily, you know, there are a lot of people that have walked the talk and have shown, you know, consistent athletes year after year. So do your shopping, but do it wisely. Don't just get sucked into great marketing. It's probably a good word of advice. Right, we're probably due to. You got someone in the background there, Sydney. Hello. Hi. Oh, yeah. Good to see hi. Hey, before we go, we always hand over to you as athletes, because you know we're really thankful that you give up your time to come on here, and we know that you've got a ton of good people behind you and people that have supported you. So, Emile, I'm going to throw you in first. Give you your chance to shout out to anyone who supported you on your journey and people you want to say thanks to.
Oh, I've got a lot of shout outs, but so I'll start off with Scylla and Laura. So thank you for just throwing me under the bus and just make me get straight into bodybuilding. Appreciate that. Bailey, thank you to you as well for accepting to be my coach. And lastly, my tutor, Orman Heather, he's guided me or made me stay on the right track the whole time. He's implemented like such a really good work ethic in me. Like his work ethic is just out of this world. And lastly, I'll just special shout out to my friends and family. So my mom, my brother, Marty and Callum, and my gym mates, Mercia. Oh God, there's a whole lot of them. Mercia, Drayden, Letitia, Chelsea, Bridget. God, who else is there? Bron, Trinity, Ethan, just a whole lot of you guys. Love you all for supporting me.
Yeah, we've got a cool crew at Flicks and Hawke's Bay as well, and I know that Anytime has as well. And on that note, over to you, Sydney.
Yeah, so just a huge shout out to my new coach, Marcus. We've made some huge progress in the last 6 weeks. Yeah, Marcus. Yeah, just not only physically, but the mental support is just, I'll get him on here. Obviously, yeah, the Anytime Fitness crew, I've got really good support. I've actually got one new girl, Ayla. She's first timer for sports model this weekend. So one of Jaron Fritz's clients. So he's been amazing with me. It's been cool being able to see Ayla progress as well. So she'll be one to watch, especially sports model is such a cool category. Obviously, my friends have been absolutely amazing. You can't do it without a support crew, family. But yeah, a lot of this has come down to Marcus himself. He just really has just helped me so much. And yeah. But everyone, you know, like the support through New Zealand Muscle, Anytime, you guys, it's just come out of nowhere, and it's almost overwhelming, just the amount of support. And it's just such a progress, and I'm excited to have all of you backing me, because I really do feel like this is the season to make changes. And yeah, we will have a national IFBB win at some point as well. So watch it.
Cool. Hey, you know, you did right. Look, we had a pretty shitty 2020, and you know, I mean, it was pretty hard on people, disruptive to the bodybuilding season. But I think it brought our community together, and it was a cool launching pad for us to be able to do something positive. And it's nice seeing that positive momentum in our sport. So long may it last, and long may it build. And on that note, we will be at the ICN Naturals in Taupo this Saturday, so we'll be doing interviews backstage with athletes and putting together a compilation video of some of the behind the stage scene. So, you know, people like Emile that are going into a show will actually probably get a glimpse of what happens backstage and what it's like and what to expect, and we'll interview the officials, etc., and give people a bit of a view from the other side, I guess. So look forward to that. And for everyone out there, you stay safe, have a great week training, make some progress, smash some goals. Take care.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Sweet, thank you.